Please welcome to the stream the greatest team the First Class League has ever seen, or however you do that.
So far we're the only team they've seen.
Oh yeah, good point.
What's going on, everybody? We are the Cinefanatics. My name's Chris Adams.
I'm Robert Adams.
Welcome to the Tagline. That's the show where the tagline is the title of the show. Yes, that's right. This is like the old school days. It's just the two of us tonight.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Okay.
I usually hate your scene.
But you're going to learn to love it because we got to learn to work together. More on that here in a minute.
Yeah, so Tori's got the night off, guys. You know, those of y'all who are interested in hearing her thoughts on Dune, I will sum them up for you real quick. I didn't like it. There you go.
Yucky.
I'm sure like she'll give a brief thought or something next week when she's back on. But until then, you're stuck with our stupid faces tonight.
Yeah. Speaking of our stupid faces, if you would like to donate to them, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Any questions, comments, issues with anything, I don't know. Throw
Take it up with
up
management.
There. That's great.
Take it up with management, and we are the management. Take it up right there.
Good point. Literally. Good point. Wow. Also, don't forget patreon.com/cinefanatics. We are about to enter a new month, which means new stuff for our Patreon followers. So movie watch-alongs. We're actually going to still do the trivia hangouts, even though the First Class League is done for the season. We're still going to hang out and answer some trivia questions. So on patreon.com/cinefanatics.
The trivia isn't done. There's no rest for the weary.
That's because we're not weary.
You have an even record. I have a losing record. We need.
Well, you did that to yourself. You had every opportunity to come in and win that match, and you didn't. You screwed the pooch. Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, you know what? As long as it was entertaining, that's all that matters.
Yeah. What do we got? Upcoming shows?
Upcoming shows. Well, there's the one that you got every weekend.
So, yeah. So, big news on that one. Typically, we've been doing the marquee every Saturday night. Instead, it is being pushed to Sunday night, which happens to be Halloween night. So, once the kids are tucked in, full of sugar and all kinds of gross ickiness stuff that's probably going to keep them up like all night, come tune into the marquee where we will be doing a tier ranking of the entire Halloween franchise from the original 1978 all the way to the new Halloween Kills, which is not going to rank very high at all, but still come watch anyways. That will be this Sunday. Going to be at the 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. That will be with me, Tori, and special guest Tim Franco and Andres Gallego. And anyways, yeah, you got to stop. We got to stop calling this out. Just if you mess it up, you mess it up. Okay.
Andres is a forgiving man. He's probably lived with it his entire life anyway. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun, especially because I think last year, it would be last year because we started this show, last year. We had everything decorated for Halloween on the Halloween episode, and technically this would be the Halloween episode because this is Halloween week.
We did Christmas. We didn't decorate for Halloween.
You sure we didn't decorate for Halloween? Oh, well.
I'm positive since I'm the one that does the graphics for this.
Fair enough. So I would think that we would decorate for Halloween now, and we're not. So guys, this is the Halloween episode. So here's the thing. Here's the thing to keep in mind about this. Halloween's coming up and there's a lot of candy. When we're talking about Dune tonight, and we're a couple of nice faces. So what you got here on the episode of Tagline tonight is sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Where were you when I was typing up the description for this video tonight? Also, immediately after the tagline, which will probably be over here in about 5 minutes, given the way this is going right now. Okay. At about 9:30 Central, which is going to be same 7:30, 10:30. You can find me over on the Call to Action YouTube channel, where I will be participating in Schmobates, going up against Chandru Dahandapani over there, debating all things Schmodown. It will not include special guest Nerd Chronic. Unfortunately, he was not available for this, or something came up at the last minute. So it will be Dylan Camacho will be the special guest host as well. But yeah, go over to Call to Action after this is over. I'm going to go ahead. There we go. After this is over, and then watch me try to debate someone again. Done it once before, gonna do it again because I'm a glutton for punishment.
That last part's definitely true. I think that's all we got coming up right now. I know we haven't specifically nailed this down for sure, but I know I want to do this, so I think we're just going to do it anyway. Just because we're reaching the end of this month. I know next month is coming up soon. I wouldn't say as long as it's available for streaming, because I don't know how necessarily we're going to do a watch along yet. But right now, I want to talk about doing a V for Vendetta watch along on November 5th.
What day is that?
Friday.
That's a Friday?
That's Friday.
If it's available for streaming, that might be like a fun one just to do, like do that one publicly, and we'll do like a poll for the Patreon watch along.
Yeah, probably. Possibly. I mean, they might both be Patreon. We'll see. We'll talk more about that and have details for you guys here pretty soon. I believe, is there a tagline? There's a tagline before that, right?
Believe so. Yes.
It would be 2 days before it. So
yep.
We'll have details on Twitter or something for you guys.
You'll let you know at the very least that tagline.
Or in the Discord, there'll be stuff. You'll know. I want to do
it. How do you get to the Discord? $1 at the Patreon, you can get to the Discord.
That is true.
So let's talk about this FCL thing.
Yeah.
Yesterday was FCL Warfare, which is the First Class League's version of the Schmodown Spectacular, the end of the season, all out, blowout, whatever, super.
He said blowout.
Dish that you. Yeah, okay. So they had 4 great matches over there yesterday. It was fantastic. There was a little bit of specifically for us, there was a little bit of a weird, little change in there from what happened during the Cinefanatic Civil War. You were effectively, or I should say, the gentleman was effectively banned from all of season 2, which is funny given how hard we worked to get into season 1. All the begging and pleading, can we play? Please, we want to play.
Years and years and years, and Christian finally going, fine, go play in the FCL.
And then you just blow it by tackling other competitors. So you were banned.
It's my own brother.
Yeah, until Brad Gilmore decided, no, I've got a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
You've got good potential. You also have one of the greatest nicknames in the FCL. So anyone who knows wrestling knows the history of that name. So he decided that maybe I'll keep you in season 2 after all, but you're going to learn something. You're going to learn how to be a team and work with others, namely with me.
I'm going to learn a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. Yeah. So basically, Brad gave me the opportunity to either be banned for the entire next season because I tackled Dingus over here, or
keep calling me Dingus. I'm going to tackle you.
I can learn to work with Dingus over here and be a team.
And you can't take a tackle.
For multiple reasons. So that's right. It was announced FCL is going to have a teams division next year or next season. We'll see when the season starts. And we are officially a part of it. We'll see who our esteemed competition will end up being. I don't have high hopes against us right now,
Yeah, because no one else is like coming in as a pre-formed team for the most part.
We're a pre-made package. We're a package deal.
We already know what each other knows and doesn't know, and how we could play, and how to strategize and stuff. So
basically, this would have already happened this first season if there were teams this first season. So,
yeah, potentially.
I do like the way that story though went. The story was like us against each other, and then it all led up to yeah, but now you're gonna work together. That's what you wanted from the beginning.
That's why we're laughing at that. I'm like, got it.
Got him. Yeah.
Anyways,
see how the story plays out though.
There's going to be a lot of good things. I mean, a lot of people know that there's going to be changes to how the first class league works next season. Eager to see what how that's going to play out. But yeah, teams is going to be a lot of fun. So really eager for that. Movies watched.
I'll do mine real quick.
Yeah, since yours is simple.
Yep. Well, if you guys saw any new movies, let us know in the chat what you saw this last week. Want to catch any recommendations you might have as well. But
we got Dune and Candy. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry, I saw this comment and I couldn't help it.
I gave you too much when I told you when I was dancing to your singing earlier. I gave the mouse a cookie. He wants a glass of milk.
I don't have milk. I have a Jack Daniels and cola.
Give a mouse a cookie. He wants a Jack and cola.
He wants a Jack and Coke. That's a smart mouse right there.
Or a really dumb one. I don't think the cookie would taste.
Hello.
Was that the Mrs. Doubtfire? Hello.
Yeah, kind of. Amber. Okay, Sex and Candy. Really? Yeah.
Well,
it's one of the greatest one-hit wonders of the '90s. Up there with No Rain from Blind Melon.
Look, we got to fill something in this space. We're used to Tori being here.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so the movie I watched this last week for the first time was Princess and the Frog.
I mean, was it a movie you needed to watch?
It's not a movie I have to watch, but it's a movie I watched and relatively enjoyed.
Well, I would say you had to watch it because, questions about it may pop up somewhere where we play movie trivia.
I mean, sure, by that definition, then I'll watch every movie that exists ever.
Tori made him watch it.
No, that's not true. I watched it by myself on my own volition. Because I needed something light. I needed something light and breezy, and it was an hour and a half. And I still watched it over the course of 2 nights anyway.
Your mom's light and breezy in an hour and a half.
Okay, so moving on.
So what have I seen brand new? So mine's gonna be pretty easy because a lot of my stuff, other than us seeing Dune, which we did a review on, that's already on this channel, and we'll talk some more about Dune here in a little bit. There's also the other A24 movies that I caught up for before the marquee. So that included Saint Maud, The Lighthouse. If y'all want to know my thoughts, feelings, opinions about those movies, it is on the marquee from this past Saturday. The marquee was really good. We had special guest Sabrina Ramirez. Go check that out because A24 films are weird. And so was that bracket because there was nothing in D or F. So I also caught up on The Descent. I could have sworn I've seen this movie before, but apparently, according to my Letterboxd, I had not.
Make the joke.
So it was decent.
There it is. Yeah,
it was a decent descent. It was the most decent descent I've decidedly ever descended upon.
You flew too close to the sun.
Just too much. I don't care.
Icarus flew too close to the sun.
And I could have sworn I saw it before because I know I've tried watching it a couple of times. I get what the movie's trying to do. I just, for some reason, as much as I love horror, I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I was like, I don't know. Maybe like in a couple of years, I'll give it a try again. But it had a pretty good idea as far as the story, the claustrophobia angle. All of that was really good. But just for some reason, I just didn't feel like it clicked very much. And then I also caught up and watched 3 Amigos because that movie's a delight, and I should have seen it already. Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Wait.
Huh.
Gar says, I haven't watched The Descent yet because I need to watch Decite first.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for The Taste to come out.
I like that one. That was a good one. Anyway, Three Amigos. Go for it.
It's a good movie.
You took way too long on that drink. I said Three Amigos very long to give you the time to swallow that sip.
I wanted to taste it. I wanted to sit in my mouth and savor the flavor.
Your mom wants... Never mind.
Your mom wants... Yeah.
What are we doing tonight?
I'm going to do Schmobates here in a little bit after this is over.
What are we doing tonight?
And then I believe Vernon is doing the fans' view of was it Freddy's Dead, the new Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare over on a fans' view channel, which I'll go jump over and join him. So I'm going to be on camera for at least the next 5 to 6 hours. So if y'all want to see me somewhere, get used to this face. You see this face?
Vernon's not in the chat, so you don't have to suck up to him right now.
I'm not sucking up to him at all. I want people to come watch. It's a lot of fun because those are one of the weirdest, most off-the-wall Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and then one really good, very meta Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So,
did you finish your thoughts on Three Amigos?
It was good. I liked it. Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase. Good movie. High-quality comedy right there.
Yeah, you always get a winner when you get the combo of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, where are we at now?
Rehearing is a baller film.
Rehearing?
He meant to say de-hearing.
De-hearing?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of both of those.
Okay.
I'm so dumb. I'm in a mood tonight.
Yeah. You are.
I'm in a mood tonight. Anyway, I think that's it for the movies watched. Anybody else watch anything interesting in the chat? Let me scroll through real quick. I'm not seeing anything. So let's move on. Do we have the thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
At least you're pretty, Christopher.
I try. Anyway.
Oh, what did y'all think of Dune? And which Fright Night?
The remake or the old one?
I can't talk. Yeah, the original one or the remake?
I know things about horror, even though I don't like horror.
I am the secret third Adams. My name is Adam Adams. No, you would be the fourth Adams because our sister is the third Adams. Perhaps you've heard of her, Amy Adams?
Then technically he would be the fifth Adams because Adam Adams is already taken up by Adam Witt. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about the fourth brother, Adam Adams.
Yeah, we're growing. We're expanding our operation.
So Maxwell says, loved it. Amber says she really loved it also. Garth says, Haddadams. Clever.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
This is wild. We produced a show about I know. And she's upset that she didn't get free comp tickets to it.
There's only so far we can do. I mean, we tried to get her on our show and she doesn't want to do our show. So there's only so far that we can connect her and get her set up. I mean,
in her defense, she just doesn't have time to hang out with us because she's so busy trying to get all these movie roles. And I mean, we're hoping it works out for her. I mean, I really do wish her the best, but
she doesn't have time for her own family.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be lucky if we see her at Thanksgiving or Christmas. We'll be extremely lucky if we see her at Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll also be a little weirded out by it, but I mean, it would be nice to see her.
I'm curious how long it would take for her to block us if we started tweeting at her. How come you don't hang out with your own family anymore? You don't love us. We haven't seen you for like 8 Christmases, Amy. Where have you been?
I'm still having to pay money for movie tickets at the theater to see your movie. Why?
Look, I put Arrival in my top 10. I'm your family. Come on.
Whenever I feel like I miss my sister, I just put on the Muppets, and I feel better about that. And I shouldn't have to do that. Although I was probably going to do it anyways because of the Muppets is awesome.
I shouldn't have to put on the... Yeah. Guys, let's talk about some box office numbers and get off this silly Amy Adams train. Because there's a lot of pain there.
That a little bit better.
There's a lot of pain there. We don't want to talk about our sister that much. It's just a lot of hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want everyone to know because we want this isn't about her. This isn't the Amy Adams show. That's the one that Amber and Maxwell produce.
Yes.
This isn't the Amy Adams show.
Yes. This is the us and sometimes Tori. Usually Tori also show.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Anyway, box office numbers, guys. Hey, can y'all guess what's number 1 this week? I can't hear you, children. That's right. It's Dune. Good job. I'm proud of you. Family friendly? Did we hit that? Did we nail that market?
Sure.
All right, cool. Moving on. So Dune's number 1. It made about 41 million in the box office this last weekend. That's fantastic. Also, we've got more to talk about on there. Garth, toss yourself off a cliff. And so I should just move on from jokes like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's doing pretty good. Apparently, we've got a sequel. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, I believe. So we got 41 million for Dune in the box office. I'm thrilled about that. You know, considering it took us over a year to get here to this moment, it was fantastic. It was fun to watch. Again, we're going to talk about spoilers and stuff here in a second. So Dune number 1. Number 2 is Halloween Kills. I'm betting
that it's not going to score very high on the marquee. No, you're right. That's a good bet.
Well, that's true. Considering we already know the opinions of both you and Tori on that, I'm betting that it's $14.5 million take this last weekend, going from number 1 down to number 2. I think we're about to see that thing drop even more significantly. That was a 70% drop from last week. So,
not yet.
Not yet?
You will see it drop the weekend after this coming weekend. I would actually expect that this specific weekend, for some weird, freaky reason, the box office on that movie will probably go up a little. It would be probably one of those rare times where like the box office percentage may actually go up compared to how they typically go down every weekend.
I don't know why. I don't think it's going to be enough to push it back to number 1, though. I think
probably not.
Because what else is coming out? We got Last Night in Soho's coming out this weekend. I'm not certain that Last Night in Soho is going to open at number 1. It just
not with Dune.
Not with Dune. I think it might open at number 2 or number 3, and that also depends on where Halloween Kills' box office is this next weekend too. So, but yeah, we're gonna see Halloween Kills drop out of this top 10 very quickly again after Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, we got No Time to Die. Also, wait, side note on Halloween Kills real quick. I know we saw this. They talked about this, or they made a joke about it in the Honest trailer. I do like that. Apparently, I think it sounds like more people are going to the theater to see Halloween Kills than they are watching it on Peacock.
Yeah.
And I loved Honest Trailer's joke about that. You guys definitely need to see that. But the whole like people would rather risk COVID than trying to sign up for Peacock. And I'm like, great. All right, that's a grade A joke. You guys nailed that one. That was fantastic. Anyway, moving on. Number 3 is No Time to Die. That's going to hang out in the top 10 for a while. Number 4, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Number 5 is
hang in there for a bit.
For a little bit. Number 5 is a new release this week. Ron's Gone Wrong. It's that that animated movie about that little robot that was malfunctioning.
Isn't that
It
the
looks
robot
adorable.
the robot looks like what was it, Eve from Wall-E?
Yeah, a little bit. It looks adorable. I want to see it at some point. I'm probably not going to go to the theater to see it. I will wait till later, but I do want to see that at some point. It looks fun. Number 6 is the Addams Family 2. Moving on. Number 7 is The Last Duel. Number 8, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Again, that's going to hang out for a little bit longer still. I think that one might stay in the top 10 through Eternals, actually. We might still see...
That one might have like a little bit of a resurgence after Eternals comes out.
It might.
Because everyone's going to... Oh, the other thing, though, is I believe Shang-Chi is going to be available publicly on Disney Plus like the week after. There's that Disney Plus day that's coming up. I think it's like on the 11th.
Yeah.
And I believe Shang-Chi's supposed to be publicly available on Disney Plus that day.
Last I heard,
might hurt it a bit.
Last I heard, it was both Jungle Cruise and Shang-Chi are coming onto Disney Plus like on the 12th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yep.
So there you go. There'll be some good watching there, because I still haven't seen Jungle Cruise and I've been wanting to watch it. So
yeah.
November 12th. Yep, there it is. Number 9 is a new release, The French Dispatch. That's Wes Anderson's new movie. That kind of hurts me a little bit. That crushes my soul that The French Dispatch opened at number 9. I know there's been a lot of like rough talk about it, that it's not his best. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, so you're a Wes Anderson fan.
Yeah. I still haven't seen all his movies. I really want to make some time to actually go through his whole filmography. But the ones that I have seen outside of Life Aquatic, I really wasn't a fan of Life Aquatic. But outside of that one, the other ones I've seen, I've enjoyed pretty much all of them. Moonrise Kingdom, one of my favorites.
Just go to like a Home Depot or Lowe's or something, pick up like a roll of like desaturated wallpaper with flowers on it, stick it on your wall, and just stare at it for a couple hours. That's nailing a Wes Anderson movie right there.
And also hum quietly to myself.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I forgot you need music in that too.
Yeah. Anyway, I am going to take myself to see French Dispatch here pretty soon, because I know you're not interested. Tori's not interested. I'm going on my lonesome again. So I'll be enjoying that one here pretty soon. Or I'm going to try to enjoy it. Hopefully it ranks up there with me. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, Isle of Dogs, Grand Budapest Hotel. I love these movies. They were all great. Anyway, that's my little mini rant on The French Dispatch and why I'm upset that it's at number 9. Number 10 is Hans. Yeah, shut up. Let me get there. Number 10 is Hansa Rock. That is one of those Indian movies that came out. Mm. Movies from India that came out and had a domestic release as well. So Lamb is at number 13, guys. This breaks my heart.
No, I missed Lamb. I really do want to watch Lamb again. That one was so good.
I do too. I really enjoyed it.
I want to go. I almost wanted to go. What was it? That was Iceland that was filmed at, or it takes place in. I believe
for the sake of conversation here, yes.
Yeah, I want to go like there and watch the movie. Like, just find like a big open field with like mountains like that, and just put up like a makeshift like movie theater screen and
just sit in the environment while you watch it.
Yeah, that would be fun. Let's talk about that Streamlabs real quick.
I'm trying. I gotta refresh the thing.
Oh, well, I can tell you. Looks like Ember. I know Amber's watching us, but Ember also has donated to Streamlabs, saying, "Here's $1. Go buy yourself a Dune." We will buy a Dune with that $1.
I feel like I should be offended.
I don't know at what part of that.
Here's $1. Go. I found you $1. Thank you so much for that, Streamlab Ember. Ember. We really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. That was very kind. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Moving on. So that's the box office, guys. We're going to see that shift a little bit next week with the Last Night in Soho coming out. I don't know if there's a D in that title. I just kind of threw one in there.
Okay. Got it.
M plus Burr.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm
sorry, I didn't know this episode of Tagline was going to involve math with variables. Solve for X.
This is a logic puzzle. If M plus Burr, Ember.
Yeah.
Anyway. You bunch of dummies. So let's move on. We got some news stories to cover here. Some what we like to affectionately refer to as quickies, which are going to be the little ones that we just breeze right through.
That take like maybe a minute, and then you could just move on with your day. We're all satisfied because we've covered this.
They're brief stories that you get a little bit of pleasure in real quick, and then you move on to the next one.
Yeah, they really don't take too much time out of your day. They satisfy your need for talking about this and for really covering it, and then you're able to just go on, even though like maybe your partner that's with you in this really wants to elaborate a little bit more on this, but you really just want to make it short, simple, and to the point, and just continue on because you got stuff to do. I mean,
Icarus.
I'm gonna be on 2 other streams.
Icarus, you're flying too close to the sun again. Your wings are gonna melt.
So apparently, again, let's. I want to see like how quick can we actually make these. Brendan Fraser's been announced to be playing a villain in the Batgirl movie. Apparently, it's rumored to be Firefly, which is a very underutilized Batman villain, but also not one of like the major like personality. So I mean, I can understand why we haven't seen Firefly in a movie yet, but I'm not sure how this is going to work. But kudos to Brendan Fraser for playing him. Thoughts?
Sold. Give me more Brendan Fraser. I love this Brendan Fraser songs or whatever the people are calling it. I would like to see him get some more work right now and make that long-awaited comeback that he's been working on last couple years.
Yeah. While we're talking about DC, though, apparently it was announced that the unmade Trench movie that was supposed to be a spinoff of Aquaman was supposedly going to be a horror movie, but now it's been revealed by director James Wan that it was actually going to be like a Black Manta solo movie. This one I want to take maybe just a little bit more time out of and say we don't need movies about like random villains. I could see making a movie of like Joker. That makes sense because of how complex that character is. But Black Manta? Don't need a Black Manta movie.
I mean, here's my opinion. I love a lot of these villains. I love the villain's story in relation to the hero, though. And so if all the villain's stories are getting spent on their own movies where the hero isn't present, I kind of start to lose interest because there's only so often that I care about the anti-hero story every single time a villain gets a movie. You know, we've got Venom. We've got Deadpool. Deadpool's great. Deadpool is supposed to be an anti-hero. Venom later on in the comics was, but not at first. I want his story in relation to Spider-Man. You know, who else we got? You know, Disney's done, you know, these Maleficent and Cruella, which I enjoyed Cruella. So
they were trying to go with that.
Shooting
with
myself in the foot
also.
with that point, I guess. But you know, the fact of the matter is that we don't need a movie for every single villain. I like the villains to just be villains in the hero's movie.
Yeah.
And Black Manta, I want to see be with Aquaman as his villain. I don't want to see a Black Manta solo movie.
Speaking of villains, it may actually also be heroes. Moving on to the next one, Idris Elba says he does not want to be portrayed as doing a sexy Knuckles for the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Fucking bad, Idris Elba. You're Idris Elba. Knuckles is going to be sexy. Deal with it, guys.
So get ready for some sexy Knuckles. Moving on. Speaking of sexy Knuckles, Ryan Gosling has been casted as Ken in the live-action Barbie movie up against Harley Quinn's Margot Robbie. Sure, that guy is the walking Ken doll. Like, that is probably one of the most obvious, like, yeah, good choice, like, that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, again, cool. Sold on it. I'll take it. I mean, the thing about, again, to talk about this Barbie movie real quick, it's being directed by, shoot, I'm blanking on her name real quick.
Ladybird, Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig. I feel so bad that I was blanking on Greta Gerwig's name. She is a fantastic director. I like her work a lot. Anyway, this movie's being directed by Greta Gerwig, so it's not going to be a typical like. It's not going to be like the Barbie of old that everybody pictures, or like the Barbie from like Toy Story, where it's like, "Hi, I'm Barbie." It's not going to be like that. I'm actually interested in this movie. So there's sirens. I guess that was a hot take apparently, and the fire truck is coming to put out the fire. Anyway, I'm interested in this movie. I'm down with Ryan Gosling playing Ken. Margot Robbie is Barbie. I think this is going to be. There's definitely going to be some comedy here. There's for sure going to be some comedy here because you don't have those two and not do a little bit of comedy with them. But at the same time, I think there's going to be. I'm just interested in seeing what this story is going to be, and I think these two are a great combo to tell it.
Yeah, another good combo. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. Wasn't really that good of a segue, I know, but I tried. They're apparently Sony and Polygram Pictures is working on developing a biopic of basically like when Ozzy and Sharon first met and like their relationship. Not so much like Ozzy's history before meeting Sharon, but yeah, I know that was kind of a weird one. I know, but
I think I missed it.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. This one looks like it's being produced by a lot of members of the Osborne family, including the forgotten Osborne, Amy Osborne, who refused to be a part of. Yeah, exactly. She refused to be a part of the reality show because she just didn't like the idea of like cameras following their family around, like essentially making it look like that their family is something that can be like pointed at and laughed at and watched. So she is working on this along, I guess, with Jack and Sharon, and I'm pretty sure Ozzy has something to do with it as well. So I kind of wonder like how this is going to be treated when you get the actual people involved. Sometimes the biopic may not come out quite as true, but also I'm not necessarily watching a biopic movie because I want truth. Like The Greatest Showman. Not true at all. Still a fun movie to watch.
Yeah. Nice fictionalized version of P.T. Barnum. So what kind of fictionalized versions are we going to get of Ozzy and Sharon here? I don't really care because I don't really want to see this. But that's also me not being a fan of Ozzy's music or really of the entire family in general.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in general.
But here's the thing, like in contrast to that, there's this this movie about Pamela and Tommy Lee coming out. Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. The one with Sebastian Stan and what's her name? Lily James, yeah. The stuff that we've seen from that, the promotional images, everything, that looks fantastic. Just because the casting looks like they nailed it on the casting. And when you have good casting, I believe the movie has a really good shot.
That's a good point because Lily James typically does not look like Pamela Anderson at all. But they did a fantastic job of making her look like Pamela Anderson. And just to be clear, no, I did not say that. M. Had.
It's a weird way to shorten his name.
It was an FCL reference. Hey.
Yeah.
Which was subsequently a Hamilton reference. Hey. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm not really interested in this. I guess that could change depending on, like, who's starring in it. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm just interested in a story of their lives regardless of who's playing them. So, give me a trailer. Give me some pictures. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like, and I'll make a decision then.
And then we'll talk.
Deal?
Yeah. I think that's it for like the real, like the small, quickie ones.
Small and quickie.
We're ending the quickies on the Osborns. Seems like a good place to end that. Yeah. You want to talk about this this Lightyear trailer that came out today?
Yes. So we've been a little slacking on the trailer reactions here on this channel, guys. We will get back into them. We promise. This month has been absolutely nuts. With everything going on. So this one, I would have loved to have a trailer reaction done for you guys, but since we didn't, I definitely wanted to chat about this trailer here on the show tonight. You don't have any like images or anything from this, do I?
No.
Okay, cool. So this is apparently a movie that it was announced back, I believe, during Disney Plus's or Disney's big
Disney Plus Day last year.
Was it Disney Plus Day or like it was
Disney Plus, yeah.
Disney Fandom. That's essentially what it was, to be honest. Yeah. It was their Investor Day. That's what it was. It was the Investor Day. It was announced back then, last year, and had no clue that they were like this far in development on it to even have a trailer. Knowing that it's going to come out next year. Pixar's doing it, obviously. It looks fantastic. So this is basically the story of the astronaut, the space ranger. There it is. That's what I was looking for. The space ranger
of Star Command.
Of Star Command, yes. Who what's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking on every single word tonight. That's so dumb. Who inspired the toy Buzz Lightyear within the Toy Story universe. So it remains to be seen, does this actually take place within the actual Toy Story universe? Or is this like its own like individualized movie that maybe also simultaneously exists in the Toy Story universe?
You missed a step in there. So this is the real life thing that's happening that creates like the cartoon of Buzz Lightyear that the toy is based off of.
That's not what I saw. That's why I didn't mention that, but okay.
So we got the cartoon already. There was an actual Buzz Lightyear cartoon that came out like on Disney, and that was supposedly the cartoon in universe that the Buzz Lightyear toys were based off of.
Yeah.
Sure. So now this is the movie that the cartoon was based off, that the toys were based off of that. So supposedly that's how this is working. Either way, it looks fantastic.
Anyway, yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. This is not anything I ever expected to see in my life in terms of like how deep they're diving into like the lore and the history of the toys that were in Toy Story. You know, I mean, what's next? Are we going to get like the actual like Woody's Roundup TV show? Like that would be kind of fun if they went back and did like a little like Disney Plus, mini series, like 10 episodes or whatever of Woody's Roundup or whatnot.
Well, if Jeff Bezos was interested in coming down to Texas and riding the rodeo, then maybe someone would want to make a movie of that. But nope, right now everyone's talking about going to outer space, so here's the Buzz Lightyear movie.
Jeffrey Bezos.
I would also like to add that trailer was good, and then it just jumped when they played the David Bowie song that I've had stuck in my head all day because of that trailer.
All dang day. Yeah, I loved this trailer. I loved the little aspect. I mean, he didn't really talk. He said "and" at the very end when they were doing the To Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah.
I love the jokes that I did see on Twitter. I love the jokes I did see on Twitter where they're like To Infinity and Buzz Lightyear goes and a symbol. Trying to play off of the fact that he didn't finish the line and Captain America never said Avengers Assemble. So but yeah, the combination of the music, the visuals, the fact that we're getting like an actual like Buzz Lightyear character. Buzz has hair. I thought maybe at best he has a buzz cut. That sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. I did actually think that.
It makes sense.
Maybe bald. Yeah, because he's like militaristic. He's part of the Space Force. Anyway, not to go there. So this looks good. This looks like a lot of fun. I will definitely be in the theater to see this. Because I'm pretty sure it's not like they're not doing day and date ever again. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. I grew up with Toy Story. I watched the first Toy Story over and over and over and over and over again when I was a little kid. So I am all about this. I grew up with the Toy Story movies. The Toy Story movies have grown up with me. Was it 2010 was when Toy Story 3 came out and Andy was going off to college.
Yeah.
So around that time, I also was doing some colleging. Can't say that I continued colleging, but I was doing some colleging during that time. So the Toy Story movies literally grew up with me and came out at the exact same time in each point in my life when I was going through what they were going through in the movie. Aside from Toy Story 4, because Andy really wasn't part of that. But the point is, these movies have a special place in my heart. And so kind of getting this interesting lore kind of dive into Buzz Lightyear is... I'm into it. I really want to see this. This looks so good. Also, David Bowie.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah. The next one. Gonna bring it down a little bit because I think we need to address this as a channel that talks about movies. There was, and we've been talking about the IATSE stuff lately.
Mm-hmm.
This last week, there was that incident. I say incident. There was that tragic accident on the Rust set involving the prop gun that fired off when Alec Baldwin was handed to him, and it unfortunately took the life of cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injured the director Joel Souza. That happened almost nearly a week ago ish. This was like an insane thing to happen right now, like off the back of like all the IATSE stuff, because the whole thing was talking about crew on set, people who work behind the camera, and just how long the hours are on set, the safety, how bad the safety is on these sets. And I know there's even like more to dive into specifically on this, but just the fact that that's all going down, and then this happens, and people are always like so quick to like try to find someone to blame. And I know there's like a mess of people who are like going after Alec Baldwin and they need to chill out. But I made a post about this on Twitter. Like, let's have some respect over the situation. First of all, there's a family who's grieving the loss of someone they love. There is another family who I don't know if Joel Souza's out of the hospital now, if he made a full recovery or not. But there's a family at that time who was hoping for a loved one to pull through and get better. And then there was Alec Baldwin, who just probably suffered the most extreme amount of anxiety and just what happened? What do I do? I don't know what to do. It's not a situation that you ever want to find yourself in ever. And I think someone of his age, because he's getting up there in years now, it's not good on the heart. It's not good on the heart for anybody, that level of anxiety, but it's definitely not good for where he's at. So there's just a whole lot there. And I think you did a little bit more reading into, or you might want to talk about this as well, how some of the crew had like walked out.
Yeah, so apparently the actual crew that was the union crew, so basically the ones that were repped by this whole IATSE union organization, the ones that were on the set that morning had up and left the set due to unsafe practices. They were being asked to do things that were not safe. They were not secure, and which is really weird. Like right in the middle of this whole IATSE thing, let's ask our unionized crew to not follow proper procedures and protocol. I'm dumbfounded about how stupid that sounds. That's what they did to these people. But being the smart individuals they were, they said, no, we're not going to do that. And they walked off the set, which then caused them to, they're still in the middle of trying to make this movie. So they got in a crew of people who were not unionized. Apparently they were not properly trained or certified. I believe the prop person that I read that they brought in to handle like the prop guns was like 21, 22, something like that, with like no real experience at all. A lot of this is just based off of what I read. So, I mean, this is all subject to if what I read was true.
Yeah.
But yeah, they pushed forward with this just because they needed to make this movie and get it done and over with. And yeah, this tragic accident has happened. I know. So yeah, I think we're saying Jeremy Miller in chat saying it was late Thursday night. I think we had gone to see Dune that night, and then it was like we came back and we were getting ready to shoot like our review for it, and you read about this happening first. And my immediate thought, and I know I've seen it all over the internet now because of the comparisons, was going back to 1994 when they were filming The Crow. Actor Michael Massey, I believe, was the one that had a prop gun that accidentally fired. Now that one, I think the difference here is the gun that Alec Baldwin had. We won't talk about Adam Baldwin.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah. The prop gun that Alec Baldwin had actually did fire a live round, and it wasn't supposed to. The prop gun that Michael Massey had on the set of The Crow was a prop gun that was firing a blank. It just so happened to still shoot a projectile that hit and killed Brandon Lee. Michael Massey in 2005 did an interview where he was saying that he still has nightmares based off of that tragedy. So we can only begin to understand how this is going to affect Alec Baldwin for like the rest of his life. So,
yeah. So it's the whole thing is like super tragic. I know, like Amber here is saying it's ridiculous. Someone lost their life. Alec Baldwin's going to live with that the rest of his life, and it was an accident. Yeah, and I don't really want to like dive too deep into it just because I could get really angry, but there's a lot of like specific groups of people out on the internet who are rallying against, who are using this for their own agendas and stuff, and they're just making the name of, they're just trying to like make bad the name of Alec Baldwin in this situation. And it's like, guys,
they're
stop.
politicizing it.
Basically. They're politicizing it, and it's like, guys, sit down and just shut up for a minute. Seriously. Just for a minute.
Yeah.
Go back, like, continue on your stupid tirades and stuff later. Just, no, not on this. But anyway, we wanted to bring this up to kind of talk about it because this is a big piece. This is something that happened. Someone lost their life on a set, and now we're like looking at situations where hopefully studios and sets, like Jeremy Miller, said here that, the Rookie TV show, they finally announced they're going to stop using live bullets on set. Right. And it's like,
shouldn't be any on set to begin with.
Why were we using I understand we want practical effects sometimes for the things that we're shooting and stuff. Practical effects are good if it's like makeup and costumes and puppetry and set design and all that. And we don't hear about deaths due to explosions and stuff, because typically sets are safe when it comes to that. They understand safety protocols, and so when it comes to practical effects for doing those big Michael Bay style explosions and whatnot, those still fly. But there's no real reason to have a gun that actually fires a live round or shoots a projectile really of any kind. You don't need that. I know we like practical effects, it's fine, but you can CGI a gunshot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how expensive that is, but I'm sure it's not as much as the cost of someone's life potentially getting taken. So
Yeah. I would not be surprised if this is going to cause some kind of industry-wide, like absolutely no live anything. You can't have a live gun. It cannot be an actual working gun. It has to be a fake gun. Could be still made out of metal, but has no actual inner workings whatsoever. No, like not even blanks. Let's not even trust blanks with being safe. Just it's either a plastic or a metal gun, and that's it. Your muzzle flashes, your sound effects, all done in post. And
Yeah.
if that's extra work, if it's a little extra cost to CGI in, especially if you're talking about some of these movies where you might like have your like Dick Tracy type of movie where it's a bunch of like gangsters and like shootouts all over the place. You know what? If it saves a life, so be it. Do the extra work, put the extra effort in. Don't kill people on set on accident.
Yeah. It makes no sense to me. Like, it's one of those situations that we hear about this now and we're like, why were they using a live round on a set? Why can a prop gun shoot something that can hurt or kill somebody? Why is that a thing? It's a prop. That doesn't make any sense. So anyways, guys, that's kind of our thoughts on that. I want to move off that now. Let's talk about some of that spicy goodness over in Dune.
Dune! We did not plan that, and that worked beautifully.
That is the effective way to segue. Anyway, so Dune spoiler talk, guys. We are gonna get into talking about the story and the deep stuff of Dune. So if for some reason you have not yet seen it,
Well, let's preface this real quick. There's nothing like really like story-wise that we're going to ruin. If you want to still sit here, we're going to talk about the movie, but there's no like big twist or big shock or really anything about this movie. It's just we're just going to talk about it openly and freely, but we're not like, hey, did you catch that part where Paul did this, that, and the other? That was awesome. I didn't see that coming. No, this isn't that kind of a spoiler talk. It's just free, unfettered talk about Dune. So, do we still want to put a banner up?
I think like at this point, since we want to get into the Dune spoilers, guys, if for some reason you haven't watched Dune, you don't want to hear that, we'll see you guys on the next tagline, pretty much. Otherwise, I would say we don't need.
I got that up there.
Well, I was gonna say we don't necessarily need that because it's the name of the episode, Dune Spoilers. So,
yeah,
at this point, with people click on it, they know what they're getting. So I think first of all, well, let's dive into this. So, again, we talked about this a little bit in the review. I did not know really anything about Dune. I did not see the 1984 version, David Lynch version. Yeah, I did not see that one. I did not read the book, any of the books. So I knew very little about Dune. I knew, just like bits and pieces in passing, some names, some places, something about spice. There's some worms in the desert, all that kind of stuff. I knew that much. And then what I was able to glean from watching the trailers when they came out. Outside of that, that's my extent of knowledge of Dune. I knew that a lot of people talked about it kind of being the forefather to modern sci-fi like Star Wars and all that. And, I will say that Duncan fecking Idaho. He really was my favorite character. Outside of all of that, having watched the movie, again, I know I said in the review, but I can definitely see like watching this new movie where the themes and ideas that were in the original story kind of spawned and inspired things that we see and have happened in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot there. There's a lot there. I mean, you're talking about like an emperor. You're talking about like various planets and like
the entire planet of Tatooine.
The entire planet of Tatooine. A whole political system. Bad guys, good guys. Which that's not just a Star Wars specific thing, but
yeah. But you can easily draw the comparison from Dune by it.
Shut up, Cat.
I didn't read the book either, so I did watch the 1984 movie first. I think I watched it like this past summer at some point, just because I knew this other movie was coming out. I was like, I feel like Dune is one of those that I want to have some kind of an idea of what it is I'm looking at. I will tell you from my perspective, my point of view, and how I watch movies, especially a movie like this. Thank God I watched the 1984, because otherwise I would have been driving myself insane sitting in that theater. Just they throw so much at you. Like, you got to know the name of this planet, the name of this family, the name of that family, name of what they're doing over here, the name of this religious group, the name of this, that, and the other. Like, oh my God, there was so much like within like a few minutes. And I think we said it in the review, that if you have the ability, go look up some of like the major terms and phrases and names that they say in this. Learn what those are ahead of time. That way, when they casually say this name or whatever in the movie as a little casual throwaway, you still know what they're talking about, and you won't feel like detracted from the movie. You won't feel out of it. You're going to be more immersed in this universe.
Yeah,
and you'll enjoy it a whole lot better.
Yeah, there was just a whole lot there, because like we're sitting in the theater, we're watching this. I'm kind of like leaning to, I was like, okay, if I'm catching this right, the Harkonnen were running Arrakis for a little bit. The Fremen, they do not like the Harkonnen. They kind of want to be left alone. They don't want people kind of really running their show. And then the Emperor guy is like, Harkonnens, you gone. Next house, you're in. I said urine. That's funny. What was it?
Atreides.
The name. Atreides. I was like Atreides. No, it's Atreides. You're in. You're running the show now. Haha! But we're actually going to sabotage them. So I'm sitting here like watching all this kind of unfold. I'm like, okay, I think I'm following what's happening here. Harkonnen, not good. Atreides, good. Fremen, also good. Want to be left alone. Spice, really good. Everybody likes the spice. Irradiated. Yeah.
You say it one more time.
Jerk.
Use my JTE on that.
Yeah. So
sorry, Christian.
there was a lot of like deep dive stuff in there, and honestly, like this movie, you really had to. They did a good job of explaining stuff to you, but if you weren't like hyper focused on what they were saying and just like taking it in and being able to like recall it later on, you got lost in this movie. Now, granted, there was a point in this movie, I think towards the middle, where once all like the big political stuff went down, it was just more. It kind of became like a survival movie for both Paul and his mother Jessica. And for them to that almost felt like it became a completely different movie, in which case you didn't necessarily need to know all these details about the world. You just needed to get to know these characters. And I think that they did a really good job with that. I think there was just a whole lot there to like really dive into, especially with the whole like prophecy stuff with Paul, and his connection to the I cannot say their names. It's the
Bene Gesserit.
The Bene Gesserits. Yeah. I'm sure I'm gonna say like Benny Jeezy or something like that at some point. The Benny G's. The Benny G's.
The Benny G's.
Yay! Saxophone. It's like Kenny G. Anyway.
The Benny G's.
And we just lost all our viewers. Cool. So
why? They're not Benny G's. They're fine. We're not offending anyone. Y'all are all still sticking around. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Continue with your nonsense rambling.
I liked all that stuff. I thought it was really fascinating, the whole like his voice power, and then he's seeing these visions and everything. And for someone who has never experienced the Dune story before, I am sucked into this world. I am interested. I'm invested. Heck, talking about it right now makes me want to put it back on and watch it again tonight, even though I do not have time for that right now. I do not have time for that right now. But I am like super invested in this. So I think, I don't know, like there was there was just so much going on in this movie. I mean, you saw the original, so you know like what there is to compare to like the 84, the David Lynch version, and kind of like how this is its own new take on the book.
Yeah, there's a few like small changes in it. But there's also that the original movie took like that full story and compacted it into the one movie. I still think like the one movie I believe was like 2.5 hours long or so. But this one is a lot more fleshed out. It's a lot longer because each one of these movies, part one and the newly announced, finally greenlit part two, they're both going to be like, I'm going to assume that part two is going to be over 2 hours as well.
Really?
They're really fleshing out and exploring this story. This is one that I feel like, having watched the David Lynch one, watching this first one, I know we've seen like a lot of movies based off of books, especially the young adult adaptations over the past like decade or so, really like get some crap thrown at them for taking at least that final story and splitting it up into 2 books. Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, the
Deathly
final
Hallows.
Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. Like they've been doing that with a lot of these. I think they did it with like Maze Runner also, although I don't know if
Twilight.
anyone watched it. Twilight, yeah, they did it with Twilight. Breaking Dawn 1 and 2? This one I actually feel like it made sense. This didn't feel like a money grab to split this one up into 2 separate movies. This one I feel like needs that to fully flesh out the world, especially when you get a director like Denis Villeneuve behind the camera for this, which his take on this was gorgeous. The cinematography, the look and feel of this movie was absolutely stunning. I can't wait for the Oscar award season to come so I can see exactly what technical awards it's going to get. This one, I believe, has a chance to get a lot of nominations, even like the bigger ones. I almost guarantee Denis Villeneuve will be nominated for Best Director for this.
Yeah, I think this definitely gets a bunch of technical awards, a bunch of like the arts awards in terms of like costume, makeup, hairstyle. I mean, we're talking about like makeup. Let's talk about Stellan Skarsgård.
Who's very almost impossible to recognize. Like it's really his voice that kind of helps give it away, and a close up like of his eyes. But
that and David Dastmalchian, his makeup was fantastic too. So costume, all that, visual effects, absolutely visual effects is going to be in here. Score, Hans's score, the music is I mean, there's so much to dive into here. That, you know, the sound editing with how he used the voice and what they did with that, the way they did it. I think you're going to get a lot of like sound award in there for that. I'm just like kind of all over the place in my head with it. But yeah, Denis Villeneuve, absolutely best director. Give him that nom. I would argue, I don't know like how many of the actors I could argue for the different roles. Maybe you see Timothée Chalamet up for a best actor, but I think you give, I guess she would be supporting, but I think you definitely give Rebecca Ferguson a best supporting, at least.
Yeah.
If you don't try to push her for lead, which I don't know if you could. I don't really know like the rules and regulations behind that. I think at least supporting. She's definitely got to be up for something for that, though. Her character was absolutely amazing in the movie, and the way she portrayed, you know, I saw a lot of people's reviews when they're talking about this movie is lifeless. The characters, there's not enough life in the characters. Not true. Go back and watch the scene where Paul's got his hand in the box and watch Rebecca Ferguson's performance while she's standing outside the room. Absolutely not true. Rebecca Ferguson, yes. If anybody, I think, that's what Maxwell's saying. If any actor deserves a nomination, it's Rebecca Ferguson. Absolutely. So yeah, I think we should see, just like you saw a lot of like award nominations for the Lord of the Rings movies when they came out. I think it's the same situation. You should see a lot of like these award nominations for Dune. I think it's definitely going to earn a lot of it.
And quickly, we want to touch upon the fact that they just greenlit yesterday. They just announced that they greenlit the sequel, which Good Lord, if there was a movie that like you could shoot the sequel back to back with the first one, it would have been this. Now I don't know if it was the pandemic may have hurt that a bit. Possibly. I know for the most part, by the time the pandemic started, most of this movie was already done being filmed at the very least. It was probably still being worked on like post-production stuff. Maybe
can't
some
remember
special effects stuff, but
I can't remember what the original release date was, if it was supposed to be holiday time last year.
I think it
the original
was.
release.
Yeah.
But I could have sworn it got pushed to December last year, and then it got delayed a whole year.
I just remember the first trailer came out like not that far after the pandemic actually started.
Pandemic.
The pandemic. Pandemic. Yeah, I like that one. Pandemic.
The panini
encompasses all of our feelings. Just pandemic.
Yeah.
Just because I love that trailer because of the use of the Pink Floyd song in it, which was a nice throwback to the original Dune that was supposed to be done by I can't pronounce his name, but Jodorowsky. I'm butchering the hell out of that, I know, but it's not pronounced. It's not a J. It's like a soft J, like Hordowski or something like that. But Pink Floyd was supposed to be doing like a lot of the score and the music for that one. So nice little touch to throw their song in the trailer, but
it's the Pandemic Lovato. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did want to touch on this real quick. Like Hans was doing some crazy fun stuff with the score in this movie. He was playing outside his usual box, and I think he hit a home run here. I saw like they was talking that Hans was originally supposed to do the score for Tenet because he usually works with Christopher Nolan, and then he opted out of that. He opted out of that to do Dune, and suggested to Nolan to get Ludwig Göransson. And I am just thrilled because both scores in both movies are perfect, just the way they are for who created them. So that's what the definition of what we call a win-win.
Now, if only we could remember Ludwig Göransson whenever that question pops up in movie trivia. Who did the score for Tenet? Zimmer, easily. Wait, no.
Nope. Tricky. But yeah, this movie just once again shows, I believe, that Denis Villeneuve is one of the, if not getting to the point where he is I know it's debatable for some people because there's other like really good directors out there, but one of the best working directors today. He's at least top 3. So he's, for every movie of his that I've seen, he has not missed. I also haven't seen a whole lot of his movies yet. I know for sure I've seen Prisoners. I've seen Arrival. Arrival is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I want to watch. I want to watch Sicario. I hear many good things about Sicario.
Enemy. I can't remember if you pronounce this correctly. Incendies or Incendies, however you pronounce that. It could be French.
Probably is.
Yeah, given who directed it. But anyway,
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. Good Lord. All right, and
with the movie that stars Ralph Fiennes.
He said Fiennes.
Fiennes.
We're just going downhill at this point.
Yep.
Anyway,
Time to end the show.
The point is, guys, Dune was great. We could talk about all night. We do have to cut the show here pretty soon. So any final thoughts? You guys get them in the chat. We are the Cinefanatics. You can find us at Cinefanatics MLP, Twitter, Instagram, all those places.
You can also find us doing stuff like this Sunday. We are doing the Marquee, where we'll be tier ranking all the Halloween movies with special guest Tim Franco and Andres Gallego. Sure. And yeah, all the Halloween movies from the 1978 original to the newly released Halloween Kills. We will be doing that Halloween night. That's going to be at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Please stop by because it's going to be a spooky hoot. What's wrong with me tonight? I don't know.
Spooky hoot.
I'm going to carry this over to the next shows. Speaking of the next shows, here in a minute, I will be over on Call to Action doing Schmobates against Chandru Dahandapani. Special guest host is going to be Dylan Camacho. Nerd Chronic, unfortunately, was not able to make it. But that is happening here in a little bit. So as soon as we're done with here, go over to Call to Action and watch me debate Chandru on Schmodown stuff. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, happening in 10-ish plus minutes.
Yep.
So,
and I got a piece, so let's go.
Let's do this. Yeah. All right. So you guys can find me specifically at Chris Adams NLP, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and twitch.tv/Chris Adams NLP. I will be twitching again probably this next week. So stay tuned to that. All sorts of fun stuff. And you
follow me, Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Yeah.
Okay, you don't have Twitch.
I think that's it for right now.
And so anyway, guys, that'll do it for the tagline. Make sure you are following us over on the Patreon, hopping on there, doing all the stuff that we're doing on the Patreon. We got watch alongs, we got trivia nights, we're doing all the stuff. We got Discord. Make sure we're up and over there. And yeah, definitely tune in this Sunday for the tagline. Other than that, guys, we will see you. Tagline for Marquee. What?
What are the shows that we do?
Sunday for the Marquee. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week for the tagline, and we will we'll catch you later. Okay.
Good night.
Okay, bye.
Later. Bye. See you. Laters. Adios.
Bye.
Go bye.
Yep.
Anytime now. Later. Roll.